a nice sense of satisfaction that knowing 100% of what you donate goes to the animals. We don't pay any salaries. The director doesn't get a salary. The buildings have been donated. So everything we do goes back to the animals. So there's a nice satisfaction knowing that 100% of what you donate goes in. And if you become a volunteer and participate in the rescue process, you get a lot of satisfaction from handling the animals. Like I say, I worked at the zoo, and you don't get to handle the animals. You get to help a dog or a cat become affectionate. You know, small kittens need to be handled so they get used to being around people and the feel and the scent of being around people. So the more volunteers you have, the better that is. So when you can take an animal to your house and give it that exposure, you're already making it more adoptable than just to have it at our kennels or out of a county shelter. So there's just a lot more satisfaction in all of those areas.
Yeah.
Can you have them explain the property that we're on? Like,
Sure, yeah, explain this.
Okay, this property is one of two properties owned by Lake Haven Rescue, and it was purchased in an auction, and I think people knew that it was going to a good cause, so everyone wasn't bidding on it. So we got almost 5 acres for a song and a dance. I mean, about as cheap as you can go. And Cheryl's son is in construction, so he did all the rework of the house to make it for a rehabilitation home for dogs. So there's no rugs, it's linoleum and hardwood floors, and so now we have 2 properties, and this one is dedicated to rehabilitation. If we have an overflow of cats, I do have a room upstairs I turned into a cat room, so I can have mama cats and kittens with climbing and things around the ceilings where they can walk, and kind of a little cat room. So this is just basically not for public consumption, but this is basically a rehabilitation center for Lake Haven.
Guys, help me word what I want to say, like, because a lot of grant opportunities are gonna want to view this type of video. I was wondering if there's
So
like,
why should grant people?
why would they want to give a grant to something like this? What's made it like stay the way it is? You know what I mean?
We apply for many grants, and I think if people can understand who do supply grants for licensed 501c3 rescues, to know that we're basically a full service rescue for cats and dogs and no kill. So full service in that we do rehabilitate, we do rely on volunteers, and we do rehome dogs or cats if necessary. So for people who give grants, they know it's a full spectrum rescue for Lake Haven.
Awesome.
I
Is that
felt
where
like
you're
those
going
were
at?
the important things.
Yeah.
How much time we got?
We have 4 minutes. You want to talk about Cheryl?
Yes. Cheryl.
All right. When I met Cheryl for the first time, I could see she was in touch with animals more than anyone I've ever known, possibly with the exception of myself working in the Air Force around a dog for 4 years. I could see her compassion with animals was far beyond anything I've ever seen, and after 5 years, I've never met anyone like her. I think she's like nature's child personified, with her complete and utter dedication to animals and rescue, and how she can work around animals is something just to behold. Animals that might be afraid or bite or be fearful of someone else, she just has no fear, and they know it, and she can go in and administer medications to animals that are sick or hurt. And it's because she is so comfortable and dedicated, and loves them so much. I think that animals just innately know that, and I feel proud to call her my friend.
That was awesome. That's probably the best answer.
How much time we got?
3 minutes, so maybe.
Oh, I kind of want to know about what you were doing in the Air Force with the dog.
When I was in the Air Force, I was originally in just military police, where you'd guard airplanes and drive around the base and pull people over if they're speeding or whatever, regular policeman duties. That was too boring for me. I couldn't take that. When an opening came in the Canine Corps, I stepped up and volunteered for that. So they put me through all of their level of training, to the most advanced training, arguably on Earth, that you have to go through to be a dog handler. And these dogs were so trained that they could attack a person in 1 minute. You would command them to go be out and stop. The command was out. They'd come back and heel, and then that person could come right up to the dog and pet it. And that's how trained you'd have to have that dog. So you were working with the dog constantly, 3 days on 4 to midnight shift, 3 days on midnight to 7 in the morning, and then you were off for 3 days. Some of those days were training days. So you were connected to a dog pretty much all the time, and when there was an alert for any reason, you'd go 12 on and 12 off. So you almost got that you could give commands to a dog just through silent gesture or various tugs on a leash, because when I was in the military, there was Vietnam was going on, and if your dog was noisy or made a noise and the enemy was 20 yards away, you would be a dead person. So the dogs had to be highly trained, and that training part was what I enjoyed. What I enjoyed most about doing the training was putting the leather sleeve on my arm and then letting the other people let their dogs go to attack me. And all you had was a leather sleeve with an ace bandage wrapped under that, and that's all you had to protect yourself. So I enjoyed that for some odd reason. But that's why I enjoy this so much, is because I get to work with dogs again. And I was kind of a natural at it. That's why I did the sleeve and the attack part, is working with the dogs and not being afraid of it. And it taught me a lot about dogs.
That's awesome.
Great.
Why don't we just get if he has anything?
Yeah. Is there anything you would like anyone to know about yourself or about Lake Haven? Any last?
Well, just about myself, I'm single.
Yes.
I'm a retired available guy.
Oh my
He works out a lot and
Best
does
answer.
rehab. Other than that, no.
That was perfect. That is definitely the best answer we've got.
Thank you.
Great.
All right.
All right, and I'm gonna cut
Any
it.
questions? You guys have any questions? No? Okay, good. Cut.
All right.
That
Cool.
was great.
That was awesome.